Welcome back to Riding Bikes in San Diego. I'm speeding this up a little bit because we are on 54th, and for the most part, it's a pretty nice ride. We came off of the Cholas Parkway, which is kind of a hellscape of semis parked along the gravel, but this is through residential areas. We are in District 4 for this ride. So we're going to ride from 54th, which has this nice little buffered bike lane. No obstructions, nobody parked in it. Maybe it's because we're going through a residential neighborhood and there's a service road. So, we got space. The buffer does go away though. And that's going to be what happens in this video. The infrastructure and the design is going to deteriorate the closer we get to the kinds of things people might actually want to bike to. But we are going to celebrate the fact that it is easy enough to get through at least a large portion. That was a good distance there. I must have rode a good, mile and a half, 2 miles there. Now we are approaching Euclid. 54th merges onto Euclid, and you see that the bike lane is deteriorating. It's becoming a dotted line because this is no longer a bike lane. This is also a bike and turning lane, right? We're also getting to an area with a bunch of businesses, and those businesses have curb cuts, and people want to move their cars in and out of parking lots, right? So it gets more and more dangerous the closer we get to the kinds of things people actually want to drive to. But not so bad. Like, we got this paint on the outside of parking. I know some of the curb was red, but now it's green. Potentially there would be cars here. I guess at this time of day, around 4:30, 4:45, it's not busy over here. But it could be worse. It's not so bad only because there aren't that many cars around. And I'm not familiar with riding around this neighborhood, so I was not prepared for the bike lane to just vanish as it did here. But we're approaching Federal Blvd. Why am I riding somewhere where I'm not familiar? Because I have to go somewhere that I usually don't go, at least along this route. We're now on Federal, and this is another road. It's mostly residential, or it's commercial, and then there are neighborhoods kind of behind it, and we're going to get through this commercial stretch and get into a neighborhood. But this is just wide open, car-centric nonsense. Here we are. If you're going to tell me that there's no room for a bike lane over here, I don't know what you're talking about. The math is here. There's plenty of space. That car that just passed is in the right-hand lane, and I'm hugging the door zone because, like I said, I'm unfamiliar with this area. So I'm trying to be cautious, and I don't know the area. I don't know how far my destination is, so I'm not taking the whole lane, but I am uncomfortable riding my bicycle in this area. But I'm also just looking around wondering, why didn't this get a bike lane? We had all that bike lane on Euclid and on 54th. It seems intuitive that there would be a lane here. Bike lane networks need to connect. In San Diego, they don't. And judging by the comments, people are leaving, they're coming in here. I get a bunch of you from Europe and the Netherlands, which is wonderful. I love those insights. I can't wait to bike there one day. Friends from Sacramento are watching these videos, and someone's been dropping in from Boise, Idaho, and this disconnection, this is not a San Diego thing. It's an American thing. It seems local politicians and urban planners, the people that are entrusted with doing these things, just decide like, oh, well, we'll put a bike lane over here. Not that it's going to go anywhere though. And then on the roads that people would like to use after they use the bike lane, they like to stay in a bike lane, but there's just nothing there anymore. And it causes fear and trepidation for people on bikes. It also causes anxiety for people driving cars. You start going along, you see the bike lane, you set up certain expectations for how to maneuver around the road, and then those expectations change as soon as you get to an intersection or a light. We are further west on Federal Boulevard now, and as you can see, the commercial and residential area has stopped. We're now kind of in an industrial area, and actually to the to the right of us, which is to the north, there's the Cholas Creek Park and Reserve. Did you see that giant pothole back there? And this is just an industrial area. Why would there be a bike lane through here? I wonder for a moment, and then I think, well, people want to get here. Like, this actually goes to another neighborhood. This goes to another residential area. What if there are two people who know each other and they're friends and they want to get to each other's houses by bike? Wouldn't it be nice if there was a way for them to get through? This is also one of the better roads to go east to west on, north of the 94, just north of the 94. So this could be a super useful route, but it seems like it's been designed for people to park their cars in, and people to park really big trucks in. This is a gigantic buffer. But we get to our destination. We're gonna watch the kiddos play some baseball, and they got this little ball field tucked away in sunshine. So we're gonna do that, and after we do that, we're still going to drive less and ride a bike. Thanks for coming with me.